were you in?
I was in the 19th Liverpool City Scout Troop, which belonged to my school in Liverpool.
What did the Scouts do during the war?
We went to school normally and attended our meetings on the Saturday when we went on adventures. In addition, we got instructed in being able to run messages over the city to the government departments outside Liverpool, because telephones would be destroyed. Another activity we were taught was relating to firefighting. We were taught how to lay out a hose pipe and attach it to other hose pipes, and how to open up the fire hydrants in the street. During the Blitz, that is, when the bombs were being dropped on Liverpool, the Scouts had to provide for our school and our girls' school firefighting services all through the night. This meant staying back at school with a sleeping bag, whatever, and waiting for the incendiary bombs to be dropped.
What was it like being evacuated?
At 8 o'clock on the 4th of September, we all assembled at a railway station, and within 4 hours we were in a small town called Holywell, and there we were taken to a lady who said she'd look after us, and we stayed there. The idea was that there would be no bombing of the small town of Greenfield, and we went to school in the normal way there. We went to the local cinema on a Saturday morning. We were trained a year beforehand that if we were to be evacuated and the train was attacked and set on fire, we had to run away from the train, hide ourselves in the trees, and wait until the attack was finished. When it was, we had to reassemble, climb aboard the train, and carry on. Oh, school was fine in that we went there every morning at 9 o'clock and went home at 4 o'clock. We got our homework and we had plenty of lessons. We had school dinners, which were good, but we did have to have some female mistresses, and they were always referred to as sir, as we were not allowed to regard them as being anything other than the masters who had gone away. We had to carry our gas mask everywhere we went. When you reach the age of about 14 or younger, you were taught how to clean a rifle, handle a rifle, even fire it with .22 ammunition. This was, of course, on the basis that one day we would be 14, 15, 16, and maybe needed for firing in a real invasion.
What did you get to play with your friends during the war?
Well, playing with your friends wasn't too easy. We played football. We really had to stay in most evenings for homework, and the fact that there was this blackout, which meant that no street lights were on. Most boys had either Hornby train sets or Meccano sets, and that seemed to take up their activity time during the spare time.
What did your parents do during the war?
My father was the owner of a grocer's shop and was therefore entitled to stay looking after the shop. But also, he'd been in the First World War and he'd fought in the big battles in France, and had therefore was exempt. But my mother just stayed at home and looked after the home. My father, as an addition to his duties, was also an ambulance driver. In those days, not a lot of people could drive motor cars. Father looked after the air raid shelter in a way, which under our shop, as this provided accommodation for 110 people.
What was rationing?
Now, every person in the country was issued with a ration book. These goods were mainly the tea, sugar, butter, jam, all the essentials of life. And everybody was entitled to so many ounces of, say, tea, sugar, etc., etc. Now you registered with a grocer, and he was under an obligation to make sure that you would get your ration of food, provided you paid for it. So this system was started right at the beginning of the war and continued right on for another 8 years in all.
What did you do in the air raid shelter?
In the air raid shelter, there was about 110 people, and it became rather like a social club. Some people would prefer to stay in their own backyard, but some people found that lonely. Some of them did their homework. In fact, most of them did their homework there. People talked, people played cards. Letter writing was very common, and everybody always seemed to be writing letters.
What did you do on PE days?
We were told on the radio that Germany was about to end the war, and at about 8:15 in the evening, BBC came on and said the German government has now surrendered completely, and everybody is no longer at war with anybody. So I finished off my music practice. I could see that people were out in the road. So I went along to Elmhall Drive Youth Club, which was the youth club I went into. The next day had been declared on the radio and everything that it would be a rest day. And so everything was closed down on the DE day. And really, I suppose, to the park, because there's nothing much to do. And most people were just very glad to have got it all finished with.
What was the best thing about the end of the war?
Well, the end of the war was marvellous in that I knew then that I would not be called up to go fighting in Germany, as I would have been in the next big battle if it had gone on, we say, for another 2 years. So the best thing was the end of killing. But then there was a massive victory parade in London. About 40 or 50,000 British troops eventually were brought in from all over, the Americans, the Canadians, the New Zealanders, the Greeks, the French, were all in the march past. We went to the Mall, where we saw it all laid out. We stood in various places, seeing all the troops marching past. The wonderful sights of, we say, the Gurkhas with their lances and their horses. The Canadian mounted police were also there, and everybody who'd fought in the war on the winning side took place. Churchill was there, a couple of other big people were there, and on the whole, it went off. The weather was good, so it really was a great sight.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.